Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Steph Lee here, the founder of Host Agency Reviews. Thank you for tuning in for the Friday 15, where every Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time, we answer your industry questions, and you have turned out this Friday. So thank you. We've got some great questions for our co-host today. You may recognize her either visually or audioly. We have Kendra Tainsh on from Travel Edge. Hello, Kendra.
Hi, Steph. Thanks for having me back again.
Oh, so happy to see you. So we have got some wonderful questions, but before we get into those, I have two exciting announcements that may or may not be that exciting for people, but they're exciting for me. So one, we have been trying to, I know there's a lot of people that listened to the audio version on the podcast, and we have been trying to make it so that on Apple Podcasts, which is where the majority of listeners listen to it, that we're in seasons, so that because we have our travel agent chatter and our Friday 15 in the same feed, it can sometimes be hard to find one or the other. And so now we have them in seasons, where season 1 is travel agent chatter episodes. And those are the long form content where we talk with successful advisors and kind of figure out what their secret sauce is, how they became successful, and give you actionable tips that you can do at your agency. And then season 2 is the Friday 15. So you probably aren't as excited as me, but I've been working on that for a month with Apple support. So, woo! And then the second thing is, for those of you that tune in for our webinars, on one of our past webinars, we were talking about, so Kendra, are you on Apple or for your phone, or are you on like Samsung or?
No, I have an Apple, and so does my daughter, my mother-in-law, my dad, and my husband is an Android, and I sent him a one of those little screenshots that says, "Why are you ruining your family being an Android user?" Right?
I love it, because this is the most exciting thing. We were on this call the other day during a webinar, and someone was saying, "Oh, I schedule my text messages," and I was like, "What?" And so apparently, I can't remember what system where they were on, but I think they had a Google phone, but I can't remember. But anyhow, I was super jealous. And so last night at 9 o'clock at night or 10, I wanted to send a text to someone. And I was like, I wonder if there's an app or something on the iPhone app store that will schedule messages. And lo and behold, apparently, if you upgrade to iOS 18, you have the ability to send scheduled messages. And I upgraded last night. I tested it.
Wow.
It worked.
That's fantastic. What a game changer.
Life changing. So I'll link in the show notes to the article that I read on how to do it, but you do have to upgrade to iOS 18. And it was so much fun, Kendra.
Fantastic. I know, because you always, if you text somebody or you get a text, you feel like you have to text back right away. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was perfect. So wonderful. Now we'll get into actual travel news instead of Steph's, "Oh my God, I figured this out in technology. I'm so excited." Well, this fits in well, because our first question is from Stephanie B. And Stephanie asks, "As I move into setting up my own travel advisor business, I'm thinking about what computer to get. As a teacher, I've been provided a MacBook Pro, which I love, but I know no different. Do I need to get a laptop, a PC, an Apple? What do you think?" So, Kendra, you're an Apple phone user, but what do you think about for a computer?
Wow. I am old school, because I'm of that age. I'm a window-based operations, right? Younger crowd, well, not even, seem to be an Apple-based product. But and I also asked our marketing department what they thought of this question, as well as some of our advisors. So we came up with sticking with a Mac OS might be beneficial if you love your MacBook Pro and are comfortable with the system. The interface is intuitive, and it's known for stability. And the neat thing is that you can link your devices together if you're an iPhone user or you have an iPad as well, because it all links in together. MacBook is great for supporting creative work. It's more user-friendly for applications like Photoshop and Canva, which is my new love. Canva, love it.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I love Canva as well.
Yeah. Most host agencies, though, will work on either platform. So at Travel Edge here, we have many advisors who use Apple, but just as many that use the window-based operations. So whichever you're more comfortable with is what you should use, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to a laptop, it's definitely best, right? You want to be portable. You can travel to your device and plug in anywhere, whether you're visiting clients, going to a client meeting, attending a conference. We were just at Ensemble Horizons, before breakfast in that. We had our laptops out working, answering emails. You can do presentations with them, plug them in, and of course, working remotely. So a laptop, a lightweight laptop is essential, I think, for working. So whichever platform you're more comfortable with, I think works best.
I think that's a great point because let's say 10, 15 years ago, it used to be a lot bigger deal which operating system you were on because a lot of the software wasn't cloud-based. And so it would only run on certain systems or run well on certain systems. But now because everything's cloud-based, you're really in the browsers and working on things. And so it shouldn't really matter between MacBook, if you're on iOS or if you're on Windows for your thing. And for your platform. But I'll also say that I think the laptop is really great. When you're at home, one of the nice things you can do, Stephanie, is buy an external monitor, like a traditional monitor you would use for like a tower desktop or something, and just plug it into your computer. It should have, you'll need an HDMI cable if you don't have one already, but that's a great way if you're working at your desk so you don't get like that sore neck and different things. But the laptop is essential for if you're in the travel industry because you're going to be traveling a lot. You want to be able to work from anywhere. And the lightweight one is funny, Kendra, because I have this really high powered, I call it like my chinchilla spacecraft because it's huge and it glows. It's like a gaming computer, but it's heavy. I think it's like 8 pounds or something crazy. And everyone makes fun of me because when I carry it, they're like, what do you have in your bag? And I'm like, oh, it's my computer. And then the battery itself weighs a few pounds. So lightweight is definitely preferable, especially if you're not doing a lot of artistic design or video editing, things like that. Lightweight should be totally fine.
Yeah. I have a docking station too.
Nice.
So all I do is I set my laptop up on it, and then I've got 2 screens plus my laptop screen. And once you start working with multiple screens, you will never go back.
It's true. It's true. I love multiple screens. So, all right, next question from Cecily M. And they ask, I am in the process of researching what host agency to join. Which ones offer discounts to tickets, things like concerts, sporting events, day tours, activities, etc. Evolution Travel offers those discounts, but I'm unsure of whether the MLM model is the right choice for me. And for those that don't know, MLM is multi-level marketing. Pyramid scheme is another common term, or direct sales. So then they continue on, say, I haven't been able to find this level of detail when doing my search. Ideally, I'm looking for a host agency with a GDS that's part of a consortium, has no minimum sales requirements, and have discounts to tickets. Thanks so much. Now, Kendra, there's a lot of things to unpack here because one of them, Cecily, is your concert tickets are going to be different than day tours and activities, the vendors that are going to work with them. Then we've got the MLM thing, and then there's the GDS thing. So Kendra, unpack some of it and I'll go at it.
All right. So with us at Travel Edge, we're talking about technology. We have the state-of-art technology, right, with our booking engine, ADX, which is also known as the Agent Digital Experience. And it's based on both Sabre and Amadeus GDSs without having to know that cryptic code. And integrated into ADX is also our CRM, our customer relationship management system. So it's all into one. So you're point and click rather than putting the codes in. Our consortium relationship is with Ensemble Travel. And what that does is it widens our vendor field, allowing us to share our expertise and support in marketing. Not only that, but technology training and supplier negotiations with our preferred partners. So we have a relationship with suppliers, not only through Travel Edge, but also through our consortia. So if you're part of a consortia, it's going to widen that widen that field of preferred vendors.
The vendors. Yep.
So we do have ones that specialize in event tickets at net rates. So net rates are without commission, right? Allowing you to add your own markup on there, your own profit. It also gives us access to DMCs, which are destination management companies that can help you with those hard to get tickets for events. So we just had an advisor looking for Formula One tickets. And one of our supplier partners through Ensemble was able to get those for us, right? So you get the net rate and you can mark them up to make a profit. So as a host agency, we offer, and many host agencies do this, we offer access to our advisor knowledge trips and FAM opportunities, our top reward trips, mini FAMs, and our community events. And I think that when you're talking about the host agencies and the MLMs, you need to look carefully at the differences between the two of them. So a host agency supports agents to sell travel, while an MLM tends to emphasize selling memberships and recruiting others to sell underneath you. So I would examine them closely and see which is the best fit for you and for your business model. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's perfect. A couple things from what Kendra said. So first, we'll link to an article on what a DMC is if you're interested in learning more. We'll also link to our article on preferred suppliers, because that's who, as she mentioned, is going to have the tickets or the day activities, things like that. We'll also link to our article on how to find the best host agency, which has a great spreadsheet of questions to ask the host and help you keep track of things. And then when it comes to the GDS, Cecily, we're going to link to an article on the GDS. But the thing to know is you're not going to be able to get access as a new advisor with no experience. But the other thing to know is you don't need to have the GDS. As Kendra mentioned, there's a lot of tools now that are point and click, so you don't need to know the GDS. So we'll link to that. And then the last thing I want to check on, and I'm going to share my screen here, is with travel MLMs. So the thing that I think is important to know about travel MLMs. So our kind of take here on host agency reviews, and this is a great article for people to read, whether you're thinking about joining one or if you're a traveler advisor in general, because you will run across people that want to join a travel MLM or try to recruit you to their downline. And this is a great article. And why I say that is because it kind of educates you on, if this is what you're looking for, then that's great. If you understand what the MLM model is and that's what you want, then go for it. But there's a couple things I want to point out. And one of them is that, when you look at, so MLMs will publish something called income disclosure statements. Not all of them do, but the big ones right now do. Oh, and it's broken right now. How unfortunate. But essentially what I wanted to share with you on that is with the MLMs, oftentimes there's claims about how much money you can make by recruiting 3 people underneath you, and then they each recruit 3, things like that, which in theory sounds like, wow, you could really make a lot of money right away by just recruiting a few people. But the thing to know is the reason they're called a pyramid scheme in other terms is because Evolution Travel, let's say, I don't know the exact number, but it's probably between 70 to 80% of their members don't make anything. And you get this from the income disclosures. And then there's 20 to 30% on top that makes something. And then that something, though, usually averages out to a couple $100 if you work the numbers and the income disclosure statements. And in our article, it has a nice visual that can help you understand how little a lot of people end up making in them. And so if you're looking to book travel and have somebody that is supporting people that are only selling travel and not memberships, I would say going with a host agency that isn't tied to an MLM is going to be the best route for you. But you can make your own decision by checking out that article. And then the last thing I wanted to say was, if you have questions about these host agencies and if they offer discounts to tickets. So let me just, if you go to our host agency list and go on the profile. So if we were to check out Travel Edge's profile and you had a question and wanted to ask them about these tickets, just go to the question and answer tab here, and you can go ahead and ask a question and ask them if they have tickets to number one concerts, things like Formula One, if they have day activities and tours, and they'll answer you back right away. And that's a really quick way to get the answers to your questions.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, great questions there. And last one from Joseph H. Most resources we come across assume that the business structure for a travel agency is a sole proprietor or a single member LLC. This has caused us to ask if there are any major differences in how a multi-member LLC is handled within the industry. So, for example, do host agencies see us as a single agency or as two agents when it comes to commissions, fees, and trainings? Because I think Joseph is going in with a partner here. So I'm curious what you do and how you see it over at Travel Edge.
So looking first what a sole proprietorship and then corporation is. So the sole proprietorship is a business owned by one person, and the income is directly attributed to that one person or owner, right? And we have this all the time as we onboard ICs. So the business isn't separated from the owner, and the revenue and expenses are included on the owner's income tax. And there's no separation between business and personal assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Corporation, your business is a separate legal existence from the people that own it. So an advisor may choose to incorporate because the business is a collective ownership, so more than two people, right? And it also helps shield owners from personal liability. And in some cases, it can protect your personal assets. So when joining Travel Edge as an IC, our agreement is in one person's name. However, you can have one or multiple sub-ICs that work underneath you. So the lead IC, and we just actually had this from one of our ICs opening up their own business and having a partner. So basically what we did was we took that lead IC and they have the contract with us, and the sub IC has that contract with the lead, not necessarily Travel Edge. But we don't charge any additional fees for having sub ICs, as some host agencies do. Make sure that you look into that. Yeah. But all members of the team, including the lead and the sub, have full access to our technology, our learning management system for training. They're invited to industry events. They can apply for knowledge or fam trips. Like, they're not seen as anything different. Everybody has their own system logons, but the accounts are linked back to that lead IC, right? Mm-hmm. And then commissions are paid to that lead IC and distributed to the sub ICs underneath that. So if you're a corporation, that's not a problem. We just ask that one of the owners are designated as the lead IC. But yeah, also with that, we also have the option of you joining as an affiliate agency instead. So the affiliates are owners and operators, usually of an established agency, that have multiple ICs or employees working under them. Some of those affiliate agencies will have their own IATAs, and then they join us to use our contracts and our partnerships. But a lead IC will sometimes have like 3 or 4 sub ICs underneath them. An affiliate agency can have anywhere from like 10 to 50 sub ICs. And we just have different supports. Like, we support both options, but we've got a separate relationship manager that works with affiliate agencies because they tend to have different needs than the regular agencies. So you can do both. You can be a sole proprietor, you can be a corporation with multiple owners. That's fine. We just need that designation of a lead and sub. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's really interesting. So Joseph, definitely ask on profiles of the host agencies you're interested, because one, on their profile, there's an area where it says if they allow sub agents. And if they do, then you can ask the question, how does this work out? Does this work for employees and independent contractors, or is it for ICs only? And there oftentimes is a charge. So most hosts they're not going to care what your business structure is per se, unless they require that you're an LLC. But they don't care if you're single member or multi-member. What it comes down to is your logins and how many logins that you need for your company. And Kendra, with Travel Edge, no charge for them. A lot of other host agencies will charge per login. And so it really depends between you and your partner if you want to share logins. But things to keep in mind with that is if you only have one login and you're sharing it, all the commissions are going to come to that. So if you and your partner are splitting that, you have to split it on your own. If you want to go to a host agency event, they only have one advisor that you're listed as. And so you can't bring on someone else as an advisor to that event because they're not in the system. And for things like, say, CLIA certification or anything along those lines, in order to get the okay from your host agency to get the CLIA card or the IATA card, they're only going to give it to people that are members and signed up with them. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you're sharing a login, only one of you, whoever that member is, and that's seen by the host agency, that's the only person that can get the IATA or the CLIA card. So hopefully that clears things up for you. And let's see. We're going to link to Travel Edge's profile for everybody where you can find reviews, infos, you can ask questions galore on their website. And let's see, coming up for our upcoming Friday 15s, November 8th is going to be Uniglobe Travel Center. November 15th, we have Dugan's Travel. November 22nd, we have Kendra back on right before Thanksgiving. So that'll be really exciting. And if you have questions for an upcoming Friday 15, we want to hear them. So please go to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. You can also view all of our old episodes there and listen to them, as well as sign up for email alerts and text messages for when we go live. So Kendra, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me back, Steph. I enjoy it every time I'm here. Thank you.
Definitely. And we will see you again on November 22nd. And for the rest of you, we will see you all next Friday at 12 p.m. Central Time. Have a great weekend.
Perfect. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you.